my own needs. I won't need to go to anybody else. I won't need to go to God. I will look after myself. I will protect myself. Who does that sound like? I will, I will, I will. Remember who said that? It's Satan. You know, I will, I will, I will. I will be like God. I will be like the Most High. And really what is happening is it's a stronghold of pride is developing and forming within us. I won't feel the pain. These are the vows that we're making. I won't open up to anybody anymore. I'm never going to allow anyone. I won't cry. I'm not going to cry anymore, especially men. You know, we've got this hard, harshness that we have. And I've made a vow that I'm not going to be vulnerable. I'm not going to cry anymore. I won't love again. Love is too vulnerable. I get hurt when I love. I'm not going to love again. And the big one, I won't trust anybody anymore. And I won't trust God. The big one, I won't trust God anymore. So I'm doing things all on my own. I'm doing them all myself. And a stronghold does not protect our heart, but imprisons us. That's the thing. We build all these strongholds thinking, okay, now my heart is going to be protected. Instead, what happens is that it imprisons us. And these are the things that it does. It locks pain in and keeps God and others out. It gives a foothold of opportunity to the enemy. And he begins to power the stronghold, taking more and more ground in us. So we're letting more and more of the enemy come into our heart. So we create a kingdom of self. And these are the structures this is the structure that happens. We get wounded, right? Then we get sin happens in that wound. We have a sinful response out of that wound that we have created. Then we create these negative judgments and expectations to try to protect ourselves. And we make this inner vow. We vow never to allow these people or these things or these circumstances to get the better of me. And we form these lies and ungodly beliefs in our heart. And then what happens is that through that stronghold, we form a habit pattern. This habit pattern is created in us. And so now there's an automatic response system within us that makes this habit. We want to break that habit. So how do we break those habits that we've created? Right. And those strongholds that have been formed in our lives. What's the process now to overcome these situations, to break this vow and to break this structure that we have formed over our lives? So we need to recognize the wound and ask Jesus to heal us. And what I'm going to do, hopefully in the next session, is between now and the next session, try to ask God the structures and the wounds that you have in your life, and we'll go through the structure so we can try to pull it down and break that stronghold and that structure. So we recognize the wound and ask Jesus to heal us. We recognize our need to forgive those that have wounded us. You know, that is the greatest tool that we have, is to be able to forgive those that have wounded us, those that have hurt us. We've got to go through that process to forgive. Forgive, forgive, forgive. That is the greatest healer of all. If we learn the art, and it's a real art to forgive. And remember Jesus, how many times did he say to forgive? 70 times 7, unlimited amount of times. It doesn't matter how many times we've got to continually ask God for forgiveness and release that forgiveness. It releases us, and it also releases our brothers that have hurt us as well. Recognize our sinful responses to what has happened and confess them and repent about them. So we need to see, it's a real revelation when God opens up our eyes to see that structure. You know, it's a real blessing because it takes God's grace to show us, because a lot of the time we are automatically in that structure. We don't know that we're actually doing what we're doing, and we think that it's a normal thing that we're doing, it's a normal habit pattern, that's a normal thing that we do. We don't realise, so we need God to reveal to us that stronghold and that structure so that we can see through God's eyes, hey, what you're doing and the way that you're responding is not the right way. That's not the way that a Christian should be responding. And remember, the key, where there is a fruit, there is a root. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So if I'm speaking out of anger and harshness and resentment and bitterness, what is in my heart? I've got to go back to the root. What is taking place deep within my heart? What is in there? So I've got to ask God, reveal to me this root that's deep down in me. Reckon our sin dead on the cross, dying to our old ways and acting and thinking and responding out of the new way. That's why we need a renewal of the mind. We need our mind to be renewed so we know what the new way of dealing is. And we need to walk in the resurrection power of God and to try to restore broken relationships. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go through the strongholds of the heart. You know, the pain and the strongholds that we have in our heart, we're going to deal through them, and then we're going to pray through those things. So we'll stop there. This is more of a teaching than normal, because I'm methodically trying to go through strongholds and pain in our heart so that we can see them and then we can deal with them. Okay? So if it's a bit boring, just be patient. We're going to actually, after lunch, we're going to get this man coming, KC Emmanuel, and he's got a healing ministry, and he will have words of knowledge, and he will pray, you know, really powerful for whatever is, yeah. So we'll break up now for morning tea. The first stronghold is the denying of our own heart. And this is from John Eldridge, and he says, the enemy's plan from the very beginning was to assault the heart. If he can get our heart, he's got all of us. And what he tries to do is he makes us really, really busy so they can ignore the heart, wound them so deeply they don't want a heart, and twist their theology so much that they will deny their heart. So we can see that there is an enemy out there that is doing everything that he can to destroy the heart. Once he's got the heart and he's destroyed the heart, he's got all of us. So we need to learn how to protect our heart against the onslaughts of the enemy. Jeremiah says in 17:9, it says, the heart is more deceitful than all else and is desperately sick. Who can understand our heart? It takes God to understand our heart. A lot of the times I don't even understand my own heart. So it's important to come to God and allow Him to reveal, you know, what's in our heart. And as I said earlier, God had promised that He would give us a new heart, and He will take away the heart of stone and give us a heart of flesh for Him alone. There's a proverb, and it says, souls who follow their hearts thrive, fools bend on evil